Support at 75, 68, 61, 54. Resistance on the upside at 87, 93, 99, and 42.06. Pivot 83. Resistance 87, 93, 99, 42.06. And support below at 75, 68, 61, and 54. All right, let's see what the day brings. We shall go from there. Hope everybody. This is Tuesday already, and the market has been kind of very stagnant here over the past. Yesterday afternoon it got into a range, and it's been pretty much staying in this range, not really trying to break out of it too much. If it does anything, it upticks a little bit. What's the VIX at? Are we down to 16 yet, or are we at a 17 handle? 1743. So VIX is back to this very quiet area. Not an area that we like. We like the VIX in the 20s for sure. But, we have to wait till some volatility comes back in the market, and it'll go from there. All right. So again, we're stuck in a range. This is what happens when the market goes slowly one way. It goes up. And not slowly one way, because it usually goes down. Things move around a little bit. But going up, it's just a slow rally. And we just have to be patient until we get the volatility in, pick our spots, right? We got to pick our spots. Got to be wait till the opportunity presents itself in the market. And then take the opportunity and trade it when it presents itself. Otherwise, we have to be a little bit patient here and wait for the market to kind of give us a chance. So that's what we do here on an everyday basis. We are trading mini S&Ps. We are trying to find opportunities to trade the market as far as setups are concerned, because we don't believe markets go straight up or straight down. Consequently, if we're looking for those inflection points, some of them are created by our support and resistance levels. Some are created by price action. And together we put a methodology that allows us to trade these markets. The levels that we gave out this morning are not etched in stone. They can be adapted, changed, adjusted, deleted even. All depends on the price action at any given moment. So that's what we are doing here on an everyday basis. Trading mini S&Ps, waiting for volatility. That's all we're going to ask for. Was there news that created a break yesterday afternoon? No. The only thing that came out was and they had the auction results, which they had a lot. And remember, we talked about two $60 billion auction results that came out in the market. And that was around the time that the market broke a little. You get a little reaction to it, especially these days with the onslaught of all the money that has to be printed up. Also, you're getting not that it came out last night, but we're getting a lot of companies reporting, and so maybe somebody got some information on somebody. Who knows? And so today, the first day of a 2-day FOMC meeting begins. Still a lot of companies are reporting as well, so that's all going to come into the fray. We do have a couple numbers coming out this morning at the top of the hour. Consumer confidence is coming out, and Richmond Fed. Both of those could be little market movers. We don't know. They will be released at the top of the hour here. So a couple noteworthy fundamental news items. Also today at 10:30, there's going to be a 2-year note auction of 28 billion and another 62 billion of 7-year notes. So that's about $200 billion of financing that the government is producing or having to produce. So you can see it's, it is, they are, they have, the market is down ticking here a little bit. We got support down here at 75, a little action here, surprisingly enough. Don't know where this came from. You want action? We're getting action. Just never know where it comes from. That's the good and the bad of this markets. We never know when we're going to be waiting for a nice rotation, and there it is. There it is off of our 75. What a beautiful little trade there for us. Hopefully you took advantage of it. And that time you got the 75, in case you were just using the 75. And you got that was really nice. So keep asking me about what causes breaks, and I'll try to tell you no idea. All we can do is be prepared to trade them when they occur, right? Hopefully you were able to get in. You had 1 second. I mean, when we give you our levels, we have our orders in place in the market. So for situations like this, when the market follows through really fast and gives us a nice quick opportunity, we don't ask questions. Sometimes we don't know why markets, there's a little bit of pressure on this all of a sudden. The next level on the downside we have is 68. Somebody must have said something. It's creating this little volatility here. But that's okay. We'll take it. Again, like I said, we have to be prepared to trade the market when the opportunities present themselves. We never know when they're going to. And here was a perfect example of dip down to the 75 and a nice rotation off of it. If you look at the chat box area, you'll see our levels that we gave out this morning. There's our first support level down at 75, and there's something's going on here. You can see a little extra volatility all of a sudden out of nowhere. There's a big 3,000 lot order at 75. Somebody's getting a little frisky this morning. I don't know if it's going to stay there or not, but it's interesting. See what happens when we get back up there. Next level support we have is down at 68. This next support level that we have. It's amazing how you can always get some volatility when the market goes down, some action. Slow rallies are killers. Well, they're not killers, they're just slow. All right, that 3,000 lot order is still there at 75. We'll see what it wants to do. Let's see if he's going to keep it, or is he going to take it out when he gets close. Somebody's eyeing it. I can tell you that much. Somebody's like, "Ooh, 3,000 lot. This sounds like I might be interested in somebody saying that someplace if we get back up there. So again, a couple other orders, a couple other numbers to be released this morning. We'll see what happens when they do. The market continues to slowly downtick here. And the next level of support we have is down at the 68 area. All right. So we do have a couple numbers, top of the hour, they're going to be released. Again, with confidence probably being the biggest of the two. Those are going to be released at 9 o'clock. All right, well, that 3,000 lot's still there. It's like teasing the market. It's like telling people, come and get me, I'm here. Let's see what it wants to do when it gets up there. Resistance would be probably right now back at our pivot there at 83. Again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat box area. And the chat box area is where we have all the levels that we gave out. A nice rotation there off of our first support level there at the 75 area. And everybody who traded, including, yes, my orders are ready. Like I said, they're already at our levels prior to them getting there. We obviously add additional setups once the price action dictates. But obviously, you know, like that little quick rotation there to 75, like I said, you had just had one opportunity there to jump in and get it because it got there so fast. So maybe you were able to, if you had the order already in place, obviously. And that 75 order disappeared. You got a little scared. It was there for show. At the 3,000 lot order at 75, I should say. Not there anymore. All right, so kind of trying to see what it wants to do. The resistance would be back at 83. So yes, cancel of close order. Yeah, well, you never know. You never know how these guys put in their orders. You know, you just never know. Maybe they're there to hold the market down. Maybe they just wanted to buy it, so they flex their muscle and put in a big order. You know, there's different psychological reasons that you can show at 3,000. And then some people are the ones that really want it are not going to show it. Let's put it that way. Most of the time. All right, most of the time. Mark is saying it was Don who put in that 3,000 lot. I don't know. Don, any comment? Mark saying that you had that 3,000. Oh, he's back. Put it back in there. Don said that it was his 3,000 lot, but he put it in Mark's account. So, Mark, it's kind of your 3,000 lot, even though Don put it in. You guys are. You guys are working together. I can see that. Oh, he's still there. See what he wants to do here. Yeah, you never know with these guys what they're doing. Let's put it this way: you need to have a big account to be able to put that 3,000 lot in there. So we can start with that and see where it takes us, right? Anyway, he's just kind of hanging out. We use initially with depending on volatility, a 2-point stop with a 2-point target, 2 to 3-point stop with 2 to 3-point target area, all depending on how much risk you want to take. But initially, that's minimally is 2 to 3 points. So obviously, if you're trading multiple contracts, you could scale out as more. You can get into. Depending on how you trade, you can take more than, like we had a nice jump off of 75 up to 79. You can easily have taken more than 2 points on that trade. But 2 points minimally, and the 2 points. So we're pretty tight. 2 to 3-point stop keeps us in the game. So. Wouldn't it be hard to fill that at 75? Not at all. There are guys sitting in the weeds. They're trading over 1,000 lots all the time, and there you just don't see it. There are guys sitting in the weeds who are just salivating to take out that 3,000 lot. Just salivating. So it's coming up here again. Let's see what it does. But there are guys who are waiting for size to do that behind the scenes. So it would not be that hard to. This is a lot of volatility in these markets, and volume and trade. Even though it seems like it's not moving and it's small, he's just showing it. I mean, it's not to say that other people are not trading that size in the background. This guy's just showing it. How do we use the bonds? Well, sometimes we get inverse trades, sometimes we don't. And the reason we have the bonds up there, I traded in the bond pit for a long while, so I have this little aversion for it, and I just like to use the bond market sometimes to help us. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We don't, we're not dependent on it, but it's good to have it up there because I think bonds are king, and they will eventually tell us what's going to happen. Eventually. Sometimes a little sooner than others, sometimes not. You never know. But the main reason is because I traded in the bond pit for all those years, and I just got to have the bond market up there. It's just important. But there is another reason besides my, why, because I traded in the bond pit. It's not the actual only reason. But it's a good one to start with. But we don't use any indicators per se. We don't like indicators. They're not timely. Indicators are usually laggers. So as you can see, we don't have too many up here. We're strictly using price action opportunities that the market gives us, and we wait for those opportunities, and we let the market create those opportunities for us. So we're not, guessing, and we always are looking for reasons to trade. Reasons to put in an order, reasons to get short or long. We're not just independently, just jumping in and just buying or selling. Always looking for reasons to trade, and we give you reasons to trade in our education course. you guys hear me all right? Somebody just said that he can't hear me. I don't know why. Can you guys hear me all right? Testing. All good. Okay. Let me tell this guy that. All right. Okay, good. I don't know what. Sometimes. All right. Anyway, so we do have a number coming out here at 9 minutes. Next support level we have is 68. So yeah, like I was saying, we do have we layer reasons to trade. We're always looking for reasons to trade. In our education course that we offer, in case you're new to this room, we have an education course in addition to this trading room where we're always speaking of opportunities and reasons to put on a trade. We're always thinking that that's what we're trying to do here more than anything else, is give you opportunities or reasons to trade. We just don't jump in because the market's doing one thing and we feel like we should jump in that direction. So we're just kind of hanging here. We do have a number coming out here at top of the hour in about, 7 minutes, in case you are concerned about putting on a trade. We don't like to trade when numbers are released right around there. So if that is something that you are worried about, concerned about, then just wait till the number is released and then trade afterwards. And today is the beginning of a 2-day FOMC meetings. As we are definitely a little range bound down here. It's amazing how the market could just get range bound in for no reason. That's where we're at. And there's a number. So 68. So now if it's getting close to 9 o'clock, when a number is released and you are, little don't want to trade around it, then just be patient and wait. That order is still hanging around. So we'll see what he's not. He doesn't care about if there's a number coming out or not. He wants in. Okay, let's see if they'll take him out. He's there. He's not moving. I give him credit for showing it. Most of these traders don't show those big numbers. The ones who can trade it, that is. All right, so you can see the market is kind of testing this one big order, and he is there. I mean, he's slowly getting picked on. But we do have a number coming out here in 3 minutes, so keep that in mind. And well, so be a little bit careful if you're going to put on anything on 68 is next support level. Again, if it's a little too close to the number and you want to wait till afterwards, and wait till afterwards. On the upside, resistance is up at 80, 80. But again, be careful with this number. I'll be right back.
Hey, a couple quick programming notes. I wanted to welcome those that are coming in as guests today. Welcome aboard. I do send out to everybody an opportunity to sign up for Sol's Friends and Family. It's an opportunity to be part of the service on a daily basis. It's at a discount. I'll send it out to you all right in a moment here. I'm going to send it out using the chat feature. It's the only link that works for the Friends and Family offer. So what I'm sending out to you now. Take a moment to review it. Get your discount. Usually it's $3.79 a month to be here on a daily basis, trading days. It's on right now for $100 a month, which is $25 a week. If you have any questions about Sol's services, don't hesitate to post them, or just take a moment to sign up. It's all done through PayPal. It's all under your control. If anybody hasn't received the offer for the Friends and Family, raise your hand. I'll send it out to you so you have it. If anybody would like to talk about Sol's private trading education, where he takes you under his wing and he teaches you his trading methodology and then supports you based on your trading, his class lasts a year. So for those that are part of Sol's monthly Zoom trade along subscription, you get a discount to Sol's class. You have the opportunity to talk about where you are in your trading, where you'd like to be, get a trading consultation, and then decide if you want to take Sol's mentoring and his coursework. But it all starts with becoming part of Sol's Zoom monthly. Hey, Max. So Max, I'll send it out to you. And remember, the link is in the Zoom trade along. It's not found on any websites or that type of thing.
All right, the number is out now, and the market has just drifted down here a little bit. Got down to 69.25 and rotated back up. That order was still there, stayed there at 75. Maybe he knew what the number was going to be. And those of you who are trading, if you have your volume up there, you can see that 5,700 traded at 70. So there's a lot of orders that are trading behind the scenes that you don't see. That you think that it was a big order that was up there at 3,000. It wasn't, but it just held the market down for a little bit. He probably got about 500 to 800 on that 3,000 lot and then canceled it. He knew what the number was. I don't know. Well, these guys are not, they're not trying to get 4 or 5 points out of these trades, They're trying to get 20, 30 points. So they're not in the game to just get, 4 or 5 points out of it. And it's very upsetting that we didn't get it down to 68 there. Sometimes you need the number to come out to give you that volatility to push you down to support or resistance level. And we got the volatility there, but we did not get filled down at our level. We missed it by just that much. So, in case you were wondering, that's what happened right there, unfortunately. So be a little bit careful right now of the 68 area. Got down to 9.25. And now quickly rotating back up here to this interesting 75 area because all of a sudden become interesting. All right, so we did dip down there to 69 and change. We had 68. Very close, but not happening, unfortunately. Why 68? That's the level that we came up with. Well, that's the level I came up with. Some other people might have had 69. I had 68. Or other people had 67. That's just the level we came up with from the work that we do. And anything that we do as far as levels are concerned, the price action or trading opportunities is taught. We teach you to find these levels, and we teach you how to trade them, how to get around, how to maximize your profit around them. Everybody trades differently. Everybody has different risk tolerances, so we try to work with each individual to maximize your profit potential with the trades that you have. All right, there, Don. Good job. All right. Again, we're coming back up here to this little range that we've been trading at most of the morning, trying to figure out what it wants to do. It hiccup down to 69 and then pop back up. Now we're just pretty much kind of hanging out in this little range. All right, market just kind of range bound here again. All we can do is wait for opportunities. That's all we can do. We had one quick one down at the 75 and a nice rotation off of that, and we almost got filled at our 68 off of that number that was released at 9 o'clock. And right now, next resistance area on the upside would be around the 78 to 80 area. And right here, all we can do is just kind of wait. And this is what I call the no trade zone. It could easily uptick, or we could easily go and retest maybe the 68 area, but again, be a little bit careful down there because of the price action. It's not as strong an area as it was if we got it just a little bit ago when it dipped down there. But you make adjustments according to your risk tolerance. All right. Again, this is, like I said, a no trade zone. We are definitely dependent on the market giving us opportunities to trade, right? We always say that here because that's all we can do. You'd be guessing here if you're going to tell me it's going to break or it's going to rally. It's doing both in a little range, and that's what we call a range-bound trade. Some of our traders like the range-bound trade. They do well just finding the range and just trying to capitalize on the little area that it's trading between. And others, again, we don't like to overtrade. We definitely don't like to give more money to the brokerage houses. That's for sure. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box area. We like questions, especially some of the new folks that are here. If we can repeat the levels in the chat box area, you'll see that those are, we got to put them to everyone. Those are the levels that we have dispersed. And they're right there. You have to scroll up just a little because somebody's putting in a whole bunch of ads. But they're there for you, and they kind of use them as a guide for the whole day. As we, again, come back down here to the lows. Again, if you are trading, and I said earlier, the 68 level is not as strong as it was a little bit ago, so maybe you make a little bit of an adjustment there as to where your entry points would be, depending on how much risk you want to take. Everybody's risk dependent here. as we're coming down here again, trying to see what it wants to do. All right, so if you made an adjustment down to the lower end, you did really well. And hopefully you were able to take advantage of this quick little move here. So that was a nice little trade there. Again, even if you kept the 68 straight up, you get paid off. If you made those little adjustments, you got paid off even better, and you got quick 5 points here trade on it. Very nice way to make the adjustment and get into this trade. So nice little trade there again against the 68 area. It's being very nice to us today. Cannot complain. You know, we do have those days when things just don't work out. And these days counteract those days. I know you don't remember, when you're having a bad day, you just kind of forget that, we have these days when things are going kind of nicely for us. I know it doesn't always work out that way, but today it's kind of clicking very nicely. So if you are trading with us, hopefully you are, and using our levels, that's where we're at. Where do we get these levels? These are levels that we put together ourselves with the work that we do. We have a education course that teaches you how to do this, and also teaches you some of the price action opportunities that the market presents itself with. And we put together a methodology that creates these opportunities and teaches you these opportunities. So this is all a taught experience, and nothing that I do is just, we don't come up with these things on our own. We actually work at them. There's a rhyme and a reason for what we're doing here. Again, we talked about, we are cognizant of the fact that if a level is in there and it gets hit the first time, that's stronger. The second time around is not as strong. Does it work the second time around? It possibly could. The question is how aggressive you are and how much risk you want to take, because the risk level is a lot higher the second time around, or even the third time around for sure, against the level. So yeah, they do work sometimes. Again, it all depends on, what your risk level is, if you're going to take it again, and how comfortable you are in doing it. But initially, we like to take the first attempt at a level and trade around that. The next round of big tech earnings. What is the typical horizon? How much is your typical stop and target? So again, we're dependent on volatility. We at this point, the volatility is kind of low, so we're looking to 2 to 3 points minimal. You can see here, if that's the minimum amount that you should take, depending on how much risk you want to take. But if you're trading multiple contracts, and let's say you got in here at 67, if you made the little adjustment, you could have easily taken 5 points out of this trade, 4 or 5 points out of it. But you need to trade multiple contracts to be able to do that. So we say 2 to 3 points with a 2 to 3 point stop. But again, if you're trading multiple contracts and if you get in at an optimal price or a nice way of getting in, like this situation here, then you can definitely take more than 2 or 3 points, depending on how many, if you're trading multiple contracts. Even if you're trading one, you could do that too. But again, you just should have a trailing stop so you don't lose any money on the trade. So you have your set minimum, and then you work around it based on your risk tolerance and what your goals are. Because like I said, everybody has different goals and different risk tolerances. There's not one right or wrong way to trade. I always, there's always like I always get somebody in here who always asks me, "Oh, what's your record?" I mean, that is tough to answer. If you've been with us and trading with us, you see that we've done okay here for the last, today so far. And my record depends on the risk tolerances that people take. Some people take more than 2 or 3 points stops. And you gotta, is that wrong or right? It's not. It doesn't mean that it's wrong or right. It just means that that's that person. That's how he trades. But if you're just trading our levels and you're looking for 2 to 3 point stops, you're getting them, most of the time. And we keep our stops in there because we never know when there's going to be some information that comes into the market that we're not aware of that creates some volatility and runs through for a little bit because there's an abundance of selling or buying one way or the other. So to take that factor out of it and to keep us in the ball game, we keep our stops in place. But again, everybody's different. Everybody trades differently. Everybody trades different amounts of contracts. We're here I work with individuals, especially if you do our education course, to see what your risk tolerances are and then to maximize your profit potential based on that. How long did I stay in trades when I was trading in the pit? It all depends on if the markets were moving or not. The question was not how long did I stay in a trade, is how many times I was flat. There were times where I had a position on constantly. And so it could be long, it could be short, it was just always trading. And, it just depended on the person that I was standing or the trades I were getting at the time. So sometimes it wasn't so much as how long I stayed in a trade as how long is it before I get flat again? That's the real question. And that's a question that, is hard to answer because sometimes it was easy and I got flat right away and it was no big deal. Other times, I had to work at it for a bit. And other times I sat there and did nothing. So it was all dependent on also the market and how busy we were that particular day too. So it wasn't just about what position I had. It all depended on how busy we were every day. All right. We're just kind of coming back into this range we were at earlier. Let's see here. The next round of big tech earnings is coinciding with the milestone of NASDAQ Composite, which has turned to record levels for the first record since February. Reopening plays saw tech stocks lag behind other sectors this year, while like financials, industrials, and energy, though growth names could be in for a bigger comeback as the market heads higher. Strong breadth measures suggests stocks still may have more upward movement, says some strategists. while valuations are elevated, they still appear reasonable when factoring in interest rates and inflation. Overnight, Dow futures held steady, and NASDAQ inched a little bit higher. We've come off of that, inched a little bit higher. We're inched a little bit lower now. Tesla reported quarterly profits after Monday's closing bell. Microsoft and Alphabet will release first quarter results today. Apple and Facebook are scheduled tomorrow, followed by Amazon on Thursday. So all the big boys are coming out this week. And look, we just trade the after effect. We don't have to trade the number. And good thing they come out with their numbers or release their information after the market closes, so we don't have to be standing here waiting for it in anticipation. So that's what is going on. All right. So again, a little range bound here. Nice dip down to our support level down below and rotating back up. And now we're kind of, believe it or not, in that same range we were at most of the morning. But at least we're having our little dips to keep us happy. Apple is going to come out with its updates. Fresh Apple updates are coming to iPhones worldwide as Apple began rolling out iOS 14.5. Its new operating software that includes loads of new features. The one that's grabbing headlines is Apple's new privacy change called App Tracking Transparency, which centers around access to unique iPhone IDs. Users will be asked by each app if they are okay with being tracked across other apps and websites, a move that could bring systemic changes to nearly $100 billion in the mobile advertising market. Great. Do I expect bigger moves at the end of the month? I don't expect anything anytime. I don't expect anything anytime, to be honest with you. I'm not one here to expect anything of the market at any given day, because I'm not smart enough. I just have my levels. I have a game planned, and I trade the game plan. And if we get busier that day, then we'll give you more levels. If we're not going to be busy, I'm looking for price action opportunities. I got my levels. And that's all you can do. I don't know if it's going to be busy or not. I'm not that smart to tell you that. I've been, big numbers sometimes. I expect some volatility and some movement, and nothing happens. And then on a quiet day when I don't expect anything, something happens. It's one of those things where I've decided that I'm not going to be like thinking about it. I'm just going to be trading whatever the market gives me any particular day. That way I have no expectations and I'm always ready for work. Can we repeat the levels again in the chat box area? And there they are. Thank you. Again, these are the levels that we've given out on the day began. As you can see, we hit our two support levels there at 75 and 68. And now we're just kind of trading a little bit of a range here. Upper end of the range at 75, where that big order was in place. It's kind of funny that we keep getting there. But that's where we're at. And again, resistance right now would probably be, like I said earlier, about 78 to 80. I'll let you know. I'll do some research and find out. Actually, I think her name. I think you need to talk to Sophia. I think that's her name. She might be able to help you out. I hope not. All right. All right. So we're back in this like no trade zone area that we've talked about before. Again, I would love to talk about trading and give you different, watching how you handle our trades, how we're getting out of them, getting into them. But unfortunately, we've had 2 nice trades this morning, so we cannot complain. No, sorry. We also like to focus more on the morning hours to trade. The morning hours gives us good bang for our money. We get a lot of volatility in those hours. The markets are moving around. There's good ebbs and flows. As the day goes on, if you've been watching lately, the volatility gets sucked out of the market and it becomes very, very slow and not much is going on. And like I said, we focus the first couple hours of the day, keeps us focusing on the market. If we're going to get any trade, it's going to happen in those few hours in the morning. And then tomorrow, given the fact that the FOMC is going to be releasing its results on interest rates, we definitely do not want to be trading around here in the late afternoon when that stuff is out. There's things that you do and then things that you don't do. You don't trade Fed. At least we don't trade Fed. Some people love it, and I'm not taking it away from them. I'm just saying, not my favorite. It's not what I like to do. I like to keep my money versus trying to scalp or trade around an F day. And you never know what these guys are going to be saying or doing, or how you handle, what they're going to say or do. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm not trading it. So I'm not telling the people not to trade it. I'm just telling you I'm not trading it. All right. So we never know when we're going to get busy. That's for sure. Tesla's recap. There's a lot of unpacking following Tesla's first quarter results, though it was all-around record quarter for the EV maker. The company recorded net income of $438 million, as well as earnings of 93 cents per share on $10.3 billion in revenues. The numbers were increased by the fact that Bitcoin made up $100 million of profit for them. Amazing. So 1/4 of their profits came from Bitcoin trading. After he got in it and told everybody, "I'm in it," then everybody said, "Hey, if he's in it, I'm in it." And well, let's all go buy it together and make him more money. Very smart, by the way. He's good. He is good. You can't take anything away from him. But yeah, 25% of their profit, $100 million worth of their profit was made by Bitcoin. Hey, is what it is. At least they're up money, right? I mean, that stock was a loser forever. Not anymore. But then again, it went up 700% last year. 700% in 1 year. Tesla noted that the company trimmed 10% of its Bitcoin position by the end of the quarter after investing $1.5 billion in the crypto, profits of nearly 101 million. It is still optimistic about the space, plans to be a long-term investor in Bitcoin, but an ensuing battle took place on Twitter. Portnoy lambasted Musk for what he saw as a pump and dump scheme, saying he did not want to be the last one holding the bag. Musk then fired back, telling Portnoy that he didn't sell any of his Bitcoin and that Tesla only unloaded a small portion to prove liquidity of Bitcoin as an alternative to holding cash on the balance sheet. Okay. Of course, you can buy Bitcoin. Let's put it this way: you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, and if you did buy Tesla with Bitcoin, somebody took a bath on that because it went from $60,000 of Bitcoin to 50. How long do you think these people are going to accept Bitcoin when that keeps happening? They ain't going to be accepting it for long. If they buy it for 60 and the Bitcoin goes down to 50, they're not going to be accepting Bitcoin for much longer. I know they bought the car with Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin went from 60 to 50 in a day, right? Do you think that Tesla is going to continue to take Bitcoin when the volatility is so high? And they lost 17% in 1 day? Not happening. Just not happening. Until you can base Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency against something that is not so volatile, it's not going to be happening. But hey, it's okay. How's Dogecoin doing? I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know that, Paul. Thanks for reminding me. NFL players taking salaries in Bitcoin. That's good. That is good. Well, that's the barometer for intelligence there. Nothing against any NFL player. We live in the golden age of fraud. Probably true. And we are not smart enough to figure out who's defrauding us. So what are we going to do? I mean, it's tough to. I might agree with that statement, but I mean, with computers and everything, you can actually appreciate that comment. All right. Again, we had the resistance at 78.80, and we only got up to 76 area and come off. A little range bound still, so kind of tough to get too excited about this little range bound trade here. So let's just be patient. Next support level on the downside we have is 61. All right. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? Feel free to put them in the chat box area. Don't mind, especially when things are quiet, chit chat about God knows what we could chit chat about here without getting me in trouble for saying something. Because you guys force me to say it. It's okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. I can take the heat in the kitchen. There you go, Paul. Happy birthday. Now we got a birthday wish going on here to Paul. Congratulations, Paul. Hope you have a great day. I'm still 39. Good. Good. Good for you. I wish to be 39, but hey, I'm okay with being whatever I am. So it's better, as they always say, it's better than the alternative, right? Age is just a mindset anyway. I've definitely come to realize that over time. It's not nothing to be too crazy about. The life is short on top of it all, only because a lot of goofy things have been going on. Again, we don't use what broker I have is nothing to do with the work that I do. So I don't know what. I don't use a broker for my levels. I create the levels myself. Price targets myself. There are reasons why I come up with those levels, and I teach you. So I'm not using any broker that gives me those levels. It's not what I do here. So I use a local broker that I've been with for 30 years. So again, that's not. It's not that really. It doesn't matter. Broker doesn't really matter. again, there's not a discrepancy between what my chart shows and what your chart shows, because it's just a matter of how you interpret things. So the interpretation of the chart is what we're talking about here. It has nothing to do with, the price is going to be exactly one price or the other. It's how you interpret it and what goes into creating a level. We do it manually here because we teach it, and we're not doing it through some computer program or anything like that. That's not what we do here. So it's something that we do independent of any broker, and it's all the work that we do. And there's reasons why we have those levels versus computerized come up with them. I'm looking for opportunities to scalp. Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we have to hold the trade for a while. That all depends on the trade any given day, or any time you put on, and what kind of trade that's occurring that day. We happen today to have 2 quick opportunities to trade. So that was nice, but doesn't always happen that way. And sometimes we do have to hold on to stuff for a bit, work it. We say sometimes we have to work it. Sometimes it's just not going to give us that opportunity. So it's not always a quick scalp. So again, everything's dependent on the price action. So sometimes the ninja traders pivots get close to yours, and other times way off. Yeah, well, obviously it shows you that I don't use ninja to come up with our pivots. That's about that. That's the only statement that says. All right, I think if we get above 78 now, we might rally a little bit. We were looking at 78 as a little resistance, but I'm going to switch that up now. And if we get above the 78, I think we're going to pop up a little bit. So we changed our tune there based on the price action. We were looking for some resistance in that area, but now we're going to use it as a opportunity maybe to look for a rotation to the upside. Again, this is one of those situations where we adjust, we change our minds based on the price action, because one thing that was good a little bit ago is not good at this moment. The price action dictating a change in my mindset. So consequently, we have to change you have to adjust. And obviously, that's what we do here. That's why you're traders, right? You have the ability to adjust, change your mind. Settlement price is at 79.50. It's true. It's true. Still got to get above the 78 for us to get a little excited on the upside. I mean, might be a little scalping opportunity in it, Glenn, but I think we might rotate higher. I don't know. Just again, so this is a perfect example of when one thing is telling you one thing and another indicator is telling you another, that maybe you don't do anything. How's that? Right? I mean, That's also a possibility that you have to consider. If you see one indicator that we have saying that's a buy and the other one telling you that might be a little bit of a sale, then maybe we just don't do anything. Well, pivot's always good. Glenn, always. All right, so I don't know. Maybe we're done going one way. Maybe we're stopped pivoting back. I don't know. And we'll see what it wants to do. Again, like I said, we're always dependent on volatility and movement, and where we seem to be getting into this range that we talked about earlier, just back and forth in this little range. And if you're a range trader, you're loving this. It's not what I like to do, but it doesn't mean that you don't like to do it. Again, we're focused more on the morning hours. So as the morning hours is here slowly coming to an end, you can see that the volatility has been slowly sucked out of the market. And, opportunities a little less, especially as the morning goes on, and especially if we get into a tight little range. Why do bonds trade so slow? They never used to be, I'll tell you that much. It's more government controlled now than anything else because of all the buybacks and all the quantitative easing and all the involvement that the government is in with the bonds. So it's kind of hard to, get too crazy about them. They trade in a very tight range. They just kind of do their own thing. They used to move around. They used to move around. What can I tell you? Now they get into a range and they stay there for a bit, and then when they do expand from their range or extend from their range, it's one way. It's hard to. And some people like to trade that way. They wait for the extension and they just kind of. Question is when do you get out? All right, kind of got quite a little trade now, and they've kind of pulled the plug here a little bit. So I mean, they do have a lot of anticipation of some big news results after the market closes, so that's going to have an effect on us. And you get a little bit of trade. You trade the morning because you get a little bit of volatility from the day before's numbers, and then you have to wait for this afternoon's numbers from these companies. I mean, they're not little companies, so they're all big companies, but most of them have been beating the expectations, and that's why the market is, pretty much staying strong. All right, we've gotten into a little bit of a range here. Very, very quiet, not much happening. Again, we're looking for a little bit of a push if we get above the 78 area. Looking for a little rotation to the upside. Otherwise, we could easily drop back into a little range here. not much, like I said, not much going on. They kind of pulled the plug here a little bit. Very, very quiet. And you have to be patient with it, right? I mean, you can't just trade for the sake of trading. We have to create some discipline here so that we can stay profitable and look for the next opportunity when it presents itself. Again, anybody have any questions? Good time to ask, obviously. All right, again, I think what the market might be trying to inch up here a little bit, trying to keep it maybe a little bit longer if we get above the 78 area. It all depends on what size I normally trade. It all depends on the day. Could range from 2 lots to 5 lots to 10 lots to 20 lots, whatever. Doesn't really matter what I do. It matters what you do. So am I looking for a close above a certain level of, are you talking about at the end of the day? Are you talking about it at the end of a time frame? Are you talking about at the end of a 5-minute bar? I mean, what are my reasons for the close end of a 5-minute candle? Um, Sometimes I need confirmation, and I would be waiting for a close above or below. I need a close above or below a certain level. That's correct. So it depends on the situation, depends on the price action, depends on what I think is going to happen based on the price action. So the close of a bar would give me confirmation. Okay. I get you. Well, okay, that's a good question. Now that's a good question. When do you decide about increasing or decreasing your size? Volatility would be one reason I would decide whether to increase or decrease my size. If we're moving around, or if I think that the market's whipping around a little bit, I can, if I'm not going to be limited by the number of trades I'm going to get that day, maybe I would middle of the range as far as my size is concerned. And if the trade is slow and I'm not going to have many opportunities, maybe I would increase my size a little bit because it's not moving around that much, and I'm looking for one or two opportunities that day. And if the volatility is really high and the VIX is high, and maybe I'm probably trading smaller amounts and scaling in differently and having my stops expanded a little bit. So I adjust. All of that is adjusted on the fact of on what the volatility is on any given day. So. So everything's not the same. On slower days where nothing much is going on, maybe I'd be trading a little bit more. On days where there's going to be a lot of volatility, I'm trading smaller size, but maybe scaling in differently and keeping larger stops. So I adjust my size based on the movement of the market and the volatility on any given day. Hope that makes sense. But again, if somebody's one or two lot trader, then this is it. Then you got to adjust your entry point. So if you're one or two lot trader or one lot trader, and we have a lot of volatility, you have to pick your spot in the range and keep your stop in there, and then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. So again, size is it's nice if we can trade a little bit bigger, but most important thing here is to get confidence in making money, and then you can increase your size, because then you can feel confidence in putting on the trades. All right. Again, we're a little bit bullish here on the market. I think we can stay bullish as long as we stay above the 71 area. And we're looking for a rotation slowly back up. Seems that they've sucked out a lot of volatility right now. Excuse me. In the market, so there's not much happening anymore. But if you're going to take any indication from what the price action is, I'd venture to say that we want to try to keep you a little bit long here, looking for a push back up to well, our 83 would be our first target, and then you can use the targets above that we gave out. We gave out earlier this morning. We get below 68, we definitely are going to have an opportunity not only to go lower, but probably push down to our lower levels that we gave out this morning, 61 and then 54. I'll give you a couple more just in case it does decide to go back down there. We have below 54, we got 45, 33, and then 27. 45, 33, and then 27 there if we decide to go a little bit lower. The market decides to go a little bit lower, not me. But right now, based on the price action, looks like it wants to try to inch up, try to keep you a little long as we stay above 71. And, well, we'll see what happens. So, again, looks like this could be it for today. Very slow the rest of the day. We don't know, but if you look at the chat box area, me too there, Tim. Hopefully I can. Very windy yesterday. Hopefully, those are the levels that you can use the rest of the day. And just right now, they've sucked out a lot of volatility. So we'll see what happens. You have to be very patient and wait for the market to kind of give you that chance. All right. So everybody be a little bit patient. We had a nice few trades this morning. We first, just if you use our levels alone, a couple price action. I don't know if we had too many price action opportunities, but definitely our levels got triggered very nicely for us. All right, get back here in a bit.
Hey, a couple quick programming notes. For those that want to come back into Sol's services and you haven't signed up for Sol's Friends and Family, raise your hands or raise your hand, and I'll send out the opportunity to sign up at that discount. Usually it's $379 a month. He's got it on for $100. Tova, Ronald, Quing, Kurt with an I. Hey, John M. Dion, Dale, Rob H. Raise your hand. I'll send you out the information. And that's great. I'll send that out to you. I'll send it out to you. Appreciate people signing up. Thank you. Yeah, it's all done through PayPal. Very easy to do. It's under your control. Hey, thanks, John. Thanks, Pete. Hey, Sarah, good job. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's good. So take a moment, raise your hand. I'll send it out to you. Sign up. You're all set. Join us on a daily basis. It's $100 for the month, $25 a week. Save yourself $279 a month. Hey, quick shout out to Tova. Hey, Tova, you back? Let me know in chat, Tova. Hey, SX, welcome. Hey, SX, let us know what you're trading. Ronald, let me know if you're back. Ronald. Kurt with an I. Let me know if you're back. Kurt, John M. Let us know if you're back. Use the chat feature, respond. Dion K, let us know. Dale L. Bob H. Let us know if you're back. Use the chat feature to respond. This is price action trading in the S&P 500 E-mini. That's the focus of this trade along. Just trying to get one thing done right, be able to develop consistent profitability based on trading the one instrument. SX, do you trade the S&Ps? Hey, Tova, let me know if you're back. Kurt with an I, let me know if you're back. John M. Dion K. Dale L. Bob H. Use the chat feature to respond.